Good evening, all you beautiful, amazing people at Section 83 and 84. We love you too, Australia. My name is Forrest Ivans, and I'm your host this evening, and I'm joined by the awesome, marvellous, spectacular Liz M. Lambert. Now, tonight we want to start the first part of the video off with explaining to you what Clause 12A is and 9, and also just putting some clarity around what actual sectors in New Zealand are mandated. Because I have to say, there's a lot of confusion around and a lot of hysteria. And I'm sure, Liz, you would agree with that?
I would indeed.
So, Liz, do you want to kick it off, first of all, explain to us what sectors are currently mandated, please?
Okay. Now, mandated is kind of like the verb under what sort of law are they mandated under? It's called orders. They're all these vaccination orders, right? Now, there's been, I think I explained before, we're up to number 6, but I don't know how we got there. I think the first 2 were quite discrete from each other. So one was the ports and prisons, I think, was in there. No, just ports, port facilities, which is airports and seaports. And then the second one was prisons, schools and hospitals, right? So all related to those 3 activities, right? Prisons sort of stands alone, but yeah, they kind of fit in quite well together, I think. So those are the 2 orders that have come out. Now, the other 4 orders, because now we're on number 6, seem to be tinkerings with and making adjustments to those first 2. So we've got ports, education facilities, which also includes home education. So people wanted to set up homeschooling. They're trying to get their foot in the door there, although it's not mandated for to try and push employers into getting workers vaxxed. They have put a requirement in that people get tested. So the whole family is supposed to get tested once a week or something. So that's that. And then you've got the medical facilities, which of course includes all the hospitals, etc. And also the pharmacies, and they even tried it on with a client who had, they were a call centre that supplies psychologists, and I think it was something like that, and counsellors to people who didn't want to, were upset about losing their jobs, or didn't want to, or talk people into taking the jab who didn't want the jab. So that's a big industry. But anyway, they were trying to get the call centre operators to get vaccinated. Of course, when I talk to people, they tend to say to me, there's only 2 of us in the staff that don't want it, or everybody else is vaccinated, etc., etc. Okay, so there's that, but they're not really. I think that was just a long shot, really. So you've got those 2, and then you've got the prison workers. Half of the prison staff, half of the prisoners apparently have refused it. And they're pretty good at refusing stuff that they don't want. Thank you. They've got nothing to lose. They're already inside. No, we're not having it. But all of the prison guards are supposed to have it, right? I don't really know if any of them are resisting. Haven't had any word from them. And that's it. That's the only people that are encouraged, I'd say, encouraged. I don't even think that because now the government's trying to squirm out of paying up for vax injuries, that they want to distance themselves from even those areas. So it's all a great big psyop, actually. Now, what else is interesting, of course, is that everybody else isn't so-called on the list. There is no requirement for anybody else. So all those people in hospitality, retail, and truck drivers and shoppers, you know, everything you can think of, every other job. It's not.
So clarify, Liz.
Every other workplace.
So
not.
Bars, everything like that, gyms, they shouldn't be closing. They shouldn't be forcing their workers to get a vax.
No.
There's no mandate. There's no nothing.
No.
Thank you so much for clearing that up, because I know there's a lot of people that have wanted to understand this and hear this. So everyone out there listening, we just want to be real clear so you guys understand how you can take the fight back to them, eh, Liz? So we should maybe move on to 12A and 9, because that's some exciting stuff.
So those are exceptions, right? Now 12A applies to all of those places that I said, the four largest large categories, which was education, ports, medical, and prisons. Okay, 12A, they can ask their employer, because it's the employer who has to actually download the form from the Ministry of Health and fill it in with the job description. And then the worker signs off that yes, they definitely don't want to get vaccinated, and they give a reason. Now they can put in any reason they want. I think I've been through this before too. They can. I wouldn't bother with a medical reason, because they don't have to go near a doctor. So you know, we're not going to get them involved in that. I would say if you're in this position, put say I have a moral objection, or I have a religious objection, okay, and that will be it. And then it goes off down to Wellington. Well, I have personally, negotiated this with an employer. It went down there, and now it's about 3 weeks ago. Not a word back. The worker is back at work doing her job. And there has been no. It's a business disruption, what they call business disruption exemption, right? Now, clause 9 is the one that everybody who's in all of those other places, working away in those other places, that their bosses have suddenly said, you can't come in, you know, if you're not vaccinated, right? Now, clause 9 is very, very interesting, because it is also the same as 12A, an exemption that for workplaces pretty much that aren't run by a ministry. All of the other places that are outside that, those ones I described. And there is no writing down to Wellington, right? So it just says in the order something like, if it'll mean a work stoppage and blah, 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 blah. But there is no writing off to Wellington, unless, now it'd be only in the ports or something like that, I think it is, that they have to write to either the Ministry of Transport or the CEO of Maritime New Zealand. I think those are the two situations where they write off to the minister, right? Of course, in the schools, it will be the Ministry of Education, and the medical facilities, it'll be the Ministry of Health. But the Ministry of Health has got their one, and not a peep out of them, okay? I think they want to keep their heads down. So so nothing goes off to anybody. So what does that mean? Okay, what does that mean? It means that PCBU, or employers, as they're mostly known, need to wake up and realise that that's their key. All they need to say is, "I'd like, well, come back, workers, because I need you." All is forgiven. Okay, so yeah, there is nothing else. They don't have to notify anyone else. Now, the second part of it, what do you want to do? What do you want to do, Forrest? Do you want to stop it there for some questions?
Fantastic.
And then I'll go on to the fears and that employers, PCBs have.
Yeah, I think what we'll do, Liz, is we'll stop it, the recording now, and I'll restart it with all the questions. And then this first part is small, and then it's quick and easy for people to understand the bits. And then it's really, we're trying to make it easy for them to understand if they're watching the recording now.